Hey guys, this is going to be a Holy Rune manipulation tutorial for the PSTV version of the game. As you might have noticed, this isn't actually the PSTV version. I am doing this on BizHawk, a emulator that's supposed to be pretty accurate to consoles. And so first off, the reason I say PSTV version is because every console for Celadon leads to different RNG seeds at different points in the game. One of the big differences being off a hard reset. On BizHawk, off a hard reset, this value is actually equal to 2401000, something like that. But I manually put in the PSTV version right here. This is what the PSTV starts with. So if you were playing on PSTV, this is what you'd have. Alright, so I guess I'll start off with the movement. So movement to Kraze. Also, I'm missing one script. Let me load that up. So right here in the top right corner, top left corner of the emulator, you'll see on the RNG writes, that's how many times the RNG advances. Equivalent to every one is like one RNG jump, and it's always in the same order. So like this number always jumps to the next number, which is something random, and so forth. It's always the same, which is what allows this game to be manipulable. Anyway, so first things first, walk to Kraze. This one, all you have to do is never stop moving and move the same amount of steps every time. It's pretty straightforward. Oh, why isn't my controller working? Okay, there we go. So I'm going to do the walk that I use, and it's the walk that I recommend you use. But as long as you walk the same amount of steps overall, I think it'll be okay. So we just line ourselves up with the right wall here and then walk down, and you automatically move to the left once you cross like a certain point. Pretty straightforward. We're at 1264 right now. I'll show what other movements look like, I guess. Like, I'll take one less step this time. It'll be a slightly smaller number. 1244. So, fairly consistent. It's about a difference of 20 per frame, but if you're doing this movement's really easy. I recommend you do what I do and walk along the right wall. Also, one more thing I should talk about. So every step in Celadon 1, if you don't have a Holy Rune, takes 4 frames. So that right there, that like half step, that's 4 frames. And RNG advances every single frame, so the steps don't actually matter, but you're using steps to count frames. Since you never stop moving and each step takes 4 frames, you'll always be on the same frame if you take the same amount of steps. Which is why movement's somewhat important here. So I'm going to do my movement to Kraze right here. I'm going to make a save state here. Okay, cool. So here's the part of the manip that's the hardest. Because while we can count our frames with steps, we can't always talk to a person, an NPC, on the exact same frame. It's actually pretty hard since you can't just like hold X to talk. You have to press it at the right time. So this was the whole issue with Holy Rune before. Talking to Kraze right here. I messed up completely. I took one too few steps. Whatever. Like right there. 425. I think that's about a 2 frame. It took me about 2 frames to talk to him. But the big problem was that since it was always a different amount of frames, you'd always end up on different RNG. And it wouldn't just be linear. It wouldn't be like 10 RNG off if you took 2 extra frames. It would be more of, because you left this area on this RNG, when you enter the bigger Gregminster section of all those NPCs, you end up on something completely different, because NPCs, like, the way they move is determined by RNG, and based off the starting seed, I don't know, it's complicated. Don't worry about it too much. Just know that you always want to leave this room on the same frame if you want consistency, and that's not really possible. But like I said, NPC movement is based off RNG. So, if you keep on leaving on the same frame, NPCs will generally be in the same spots, like right here. So, we can watch the NPCs on the screen, and I'll give us an idea of what RNG we're on, if we map it out. So, right, down, 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 left. That's the first 5. I go right down being the first 2 on top, and then down being the top right guy right now, bottom left being 4, and then bottom right being 5. And now I'm going to point you to something else. Let me switch my emulator here, or OBS here. This is like my little table. This covers the first 16 frames of, like, the first 16 frames where you can talk to Kraze with the movement that I did. So we go down to, what was it, right down, 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 left. We see that right here. And these are the 2 frames we could have hit. And it tells us the movement right here, and it tells us like any other indicators we can use, because as you can see there's 2 frames we could have hit with this pattern. So I'm going to let this rock, and I'll show off what I mean right here. NPC 9 and 10 vertically aligned. On this screen, NPCs are always same spot, don't worry about this one. So this is the next screen where NPCs, like, their position is determined not based off one frame left. And as we can see, these 2 guys right there, the one top left, that's referred to as NPC 9. The blue guy, that guy is NPC 10. And as we can see on our spreadsheet here, they're vertically aligned. So since they're not vertically aligned, I know I hit this one, which means 1 step right from the middle of the gate should get me the correct fight. In fact, I'll test it out right now real quick. I have turbo, so I can just mash this. I'm not going to actually go through with the fight. I'm just going to do a save state just in case I mess up the movement, or if I'm completely wrong. It says 1 step right from middle of the gate. Oh, see, I messed up right there. Actually, let me go over movements while I'm here. So I refer to a bunch of things in here. 2 steps left from side of gate, blah blah blah, middle of gate, middle of gate. So first off, as soon as you leave the house, you always want to hold left right away, because actually, if you move like that, it's completely consistent, like with RNG. But if you start moving down and then to the left, it gets a little wonky. I'm not sure why exactly. I'm thinking like NPCs have loading zones or something, but I've noticed a difference of like about 10 rights, getting to the same step but going down instead of left here. So always go left and then down. It's way more consistent. Anyway, so this guy right here, blue guy, this guy is middle of gate. As you can see, we're lined up right down the middle. So if I say 2 steps from middle of gate, which I have, I think, somewhat common. Let me see. Okay, so I have 1 step left from middle of the gate right here, for example. That's right here. If I had 2 steps from middle of the gate, that's right there. I actually don't think I have any 2 steps from middle of the gate, which is kind of funny. 2 steps from left side gate. This one's a bit harder, but that's like, so this is left side right here. So then we go 1, 2, and this is where we need to leave. And also, you can't stop while you're doing this movement. You have to do it all instantly. You can never stop moving because RNG keeps advancing. And the step count, like the steps don't actually matter. It's just a counter for how many frames we want to advance and how much we want the RNG to advance. So remember, never stop moving. Let's see. I'm gonna go over some of the harder ones or different ones. So this is the 0 frame. This is the one that we would always go for before. This is, oh, I guess it's 2 steps actually. But this one's right here. This is the, like, almost instant 3 bonbon fight. So you move down here, go down here, and it lined up like that. Hardest one to tell, so I'm just showing that one right here. This one's pretty hard to tell too. 3 steps left from left of the gate. So this one's 1, 2, 3. Oh, that wasn't right. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Now that still doesn't look right. 1, 2. Okay, I guess it is that. Maybe that's wrong. I might test that actually during this video. So that's roughly the movements there. Let's see. There's one more that I use. 1 step right. No, not that one. 1 step right from middle of gate. Like I said, this guy is middle of gate, so you'd line up right here. Yeah. This one. Which one did I say this one was? I said it was this one. So this one's 1 step right from middle of gate. So, let's see. This number right here represents how far I am in the RNG from the free bonbon fight. So 27 off. And when you're on the world map, you have a grace period of 4 steps before you can get into a battle. So 4 steps before RNG starts advancing. So 27 plus 31 means I should get that free bonbon fight on the 31st step. And I have a step counter right here. So if I did this right, I'll get it on the 31st step. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can see, RNG hasn't changed yet, and it's going to go up right now, or it's going to change right now. So yeah. Let's hope I actually got it right. It'll be a bit embarrassing if I didn't, but it's 31. There it is. Perfect. Free bonbon fight. So that's how that works. And I'll show off some of the other ones. I actually have a script I can use here. Let me edit it. I'll show off, actually, I know exactly which one I'll show off. So these three right here, in my opinion, are the hardest, since they all share a similar movement. And the NPCs, 9 and 10, the ones that are like right out the gate when you enter the Gregminster area, they're always in the same spots. So you can't use them to tell. So we actually use the Lady Below the Fountain to tell what to do. Oh, and this one uses a different NPC. This one actually uses the NPC by your house. So that one's hard. So I'm gonna use my script here that I wrote to get the exact frame that I want. I do have to edit it every time. So I'm gonna go for the 9 frame here. One sec. Okay, then recent scripts. Sorry. I guess I'll make a new session because as you can see that looked a bit wonky. So that's 433. That's a 9 frame, right? I'm actually gonna show this off real quick. So that was a 9 frame. I'll show an 8 frame right here. Oops, wrong button. See, 8 frame is 429. It's about 4 advancements per frame, so that's an 8. I'll show a 0. A 0 should be 40, about 40 below, since this is 8. So 0 minus 8, or 0, difference between 8 and 0 is 8 times, oh no, it should be about 32. Good thing I did some mental math. So it should be about just under 400. This isn't going to be precise, but estimate, it's good. So yeah, 388. And this is the perfect one in my opinion. There's only one that I think is as fast as this one. I don't remember which one it is. It's probably this one right here. Yeah, because this one's 4 steps. Perfect one, 0 frames, 2 steps. But I'm going to show off the 9-step one. And I'm going to show off some of the other ones. So let me reload this. Oops. Okay, that's my bad. By the way, after you talk to him, you have to hold right away. You have to move instantly because, like I said, frames matter. Every time you're not moving, frames RNG is still advancing, so you need to be moving constantly. So let's look at the NPCs here. Down, down. So down, down. I already know it's this one, but watch the NPCs. Right, down, left. Matches this. Right, down, left. So keep going. Nothing interesting happens on this screen. These people are always in the same spot as far as I can tell. They might sometimes change, but in all these frames, it's always the same for me. These guys will always be aligned on these 3 frames, which is really annoying. Alright, and I said I got 9 frame. So for these frames, you need to kind of keep an eye out on a bunch of NPCs. That's why they're harder. For 12 frame, the guy, I'll show it off right here. The guy right here on 12 frame, he moves down instantly. So that's how we can tell with that one. Oh, I'll just put save. But we're not on 12 frame. So once we pass that guy, once we walk out and see that he doesn't move, we know we're not going to be on 12 frame. So we know we're going to be on one of these 2. So, and then we just need to see which way the lady moves. This one says lady moves near end of walk, so if she doesn't move, if she moves early, then we know we need middle. If she moves late, we know we need to go 2 steps from left of the gate. Oops. She moved late. I consider that late. And there's 2 steps from the middle of the gate, and I should get Bonbon Battle 26 step right here. That's the hard, just a heads up, that's the hardest one. And as you can see, 26, there's a 3 Bonbon fight. That is the hardest one by far, so don't worry if you miss that one or if you get that one wrong. It's just like, the point of this is so you can cut down your resets by a lot, since you can get consistent holy runes that are quick, and you'll be able to get more runs that way. So if you miss 1 or 2 every now and then, that's fine. I miss some every now and then. Like, it happens, you know? Also, one more thing I'm going to point out here. So I always go for this walk right here, where I line up with the middle of him, and I don't go as close as possible. I go one step away from him. You can go one step closer. But if you go one step closer, that's actually 2 steps. So it's like 1, 2. Keep in mind, every step takes 8 frames. So let's say you messed up. You walked over here. You got too close. So you don't necessarily have to reset here. I personally would. But like I said, every step is 4 frames. So instead of just resetting, if you talk to him relatively quickly, you can just ignore all the frames that are under 8. So you ignore everything 7 below. You start with 8 frame. I'm gonna do that again, but I'm gonna try talking to him quickly this time. Actually, I'm gonna use my turbo right here, just so I know I don't mess up. So we can check our movement here. We know we're gonna be over 8 frame. So right down, left down, down. Right down, left down, down. Wait. Oh. Wait, what? Hold on. Okay, maybe it was slower than 8 frame. That's not what I want. What the hell? I'm not trying to talk to you twice, dude. Chill. Now I'm completely thrown off. Alright, right down, down. I don't know what happened that first time. So right down, down. I know I'm on one of these two, for example. And here, this is another one where my marker is kind of weird, so I'm going to make a save state here. So, guy bottom right house refers to the guy by your house. I'm going to pause actually right here so you guys can see it. This guy right here. So, according to my notes, guy bottom right house is, for our 8 frame, it's supposed to be 1 step below Tail and Hero, approximately. This is more than that. This looks like 3 steps. So we probably hit this frame, 11 frames. So I'll test it right now, just make sure we got it. This could be wrong since we have an 8 frame window instead of 16, but we'll test. So wait, what was the movement? I think it was 1 step left. Yeah, 1 step left from the middle of the gate. Right here, and it's 26 right here, so I should get it on the 30th step. As you can see, there's my step counter right there in the RAM watch. Okay, I did something wrong. Like I said, that was the wrong movement though, so that makes it wonky, which is why I recommend that if you mess up the movement here, just reset. Also, this movement's actually equivalent to this movement right here if you take 1 step less and get closer to him, because same step counter. But I haven't tested this. It should be the same, but like I said, I recommend doing this one. Or, not that one. I recommend doing this. That one's consistent. I think that was for 1 frame right there, by the way. I can kind of tell based off my RNG rates. But that's the same amount of steps right there. That's 2 steps less, because I can get all the way next to him. So just keep an eye out for that. You can actually improvise and keep going if you mess up your step counter a little bit, but I recommend just resetting. Until like you get the hang of it, and then you can do whatever you want. You don't have to listen to me. Okay, so I'm just going to show off 1 full attempt right here, and hopefully we get it right the first time. So, walk here, right side of the room. I'm not going to use turbo here. Got the movement right. As you can see, this number's off, so I can't really tell what's going on based off that. I don't have the RNG values memorized, so I actually don't know what frame I hit. So we're going to use our spreadsheet. So down, down. Oh man, it's always one of these, I swear. I always get these in runs too. Down, down. Right, down, left, yeah. There's actually, now that I see it, there's only those 3 patterns that start with down, down, and the NPCs below are always in same spots, so. We're just going to do this whole thing. Also, one more important thing. This screen right here, where it's like, it's all black and there's Gregminster on the screen. This is generally important in like all RNG manips, but I'm going to point it out specifically here because this is a video on Holy Rune. During the screen, you can actually mash X to skip that text box. But if you do, RNG starts advancing earlier, and that'll mess everything up. So don't do that. make sure you do not skip that text box. You just let it manually go out, and the game continue by itself. Do not press X here. At least for this setup. There is a PS3 setup that I think requires you pressing X, but I'm not going to go into that. So, sadly for these 3 frames, there's no information on which one I hit until after I leave the house, which is why these 3 frames are the hardest. But I'll see if I can get it. I'll make a save state just in case I don't, so I can show off what it looks like. But yeah. I keep on mentioning 16 frame window. 16 frames is about a quarter of a second. So as long as you walk to the same spot, you have about a quarter of a second to talk to Kraze before these are no longer relevant. I think that's a long enough window. If somebody wants, I can send them like my script for this and they can map out the rest of them. I don't see the need. I just think it'll add more confusion, and I think you'll feel if it's that slow. I've never hit anything below... I don't know. I don't think I've ever hit anything below 13, which is about a little over 0.2 seconds. A little bit over 200 milliseconds. If my math checks out, I think it does. So, I think that's plenty. If you don't like it, you can map it out yourself. I'm not gonna do any more than what I've done for this game at least, or for the PSTV version. I think 16 frames is plenty. So, just get everybody. I'm going to show the whole setup here. Yep, messed up the movement here. It's actually faster to go to the stairs to get Ted, but that doesn't matter. We're not speedrunning right now. So I'm going to make a save state here. So things we're going to keep an eye on. The NPC, right by our house, if he moves down right away, then we need to go middle of gate, because that's this one right here. If he doesn't move down, then I know it's one of these two. If she moves up, if the lady moves up, we go down the middle. If she doesn't move up and moves down, then we go 2 steps from the left. So, move left right away. NPC didn't move down, so it's one of the other two. She didn't move up, so there we go. 2 steps left from the left side of the gate. The one I had highlighted. And we'll get it on the 26th step. This is actually the first one I showed. We'll just run around. I just hold left here. It doesn't matter what you do here. Steps here are all the same. There we go. I'm going to do the setup. For those of you that don't know the setup here, this is the easy part. It's McDole defend, Gregminster defend, pawn attack. My controller stopped working. There we go. Cleo defend, Ted defend. That's what that first turn looks like. McDole dodge gets hit, everybody else dodges. And here you just alternate attacks. So McDole attack, Gregminster attack the second one, pawn attack the first one, Cleo attack the second one. And Ted medicine Gregminster. You don't necessarily have to medicine Gregminster, but it just makes sense of the route to do him. Because we can medicine pawn in the golem fight. Actually, you might have to medicine Gregminster. I don't even remember. It was a long time since I made up this fight, so... Yeah, we get our levels. Also note that Cleo gets 4 magic there. That's something... We try to get as many magic points for her as possible early game. What the hell? My controller's like... Jesus, this thing's barely working. Okay. So, here's something I do in any glitchless category. You can swap Cleo and Ted here, and what that does is it gets Cleo 1 more magic point from... Actually, I'll save here. It gets her 1 more magic point from the Holy Rune fight. I'm gonna save later. The fight should be about 22 steps, I think, on the step counter. There it is. Well, now it looks silly. Okay, it's 25 steps. I didn't remember. Yeah, I'm just going to point out... Oh yeah, so the setup for this fight, it doesn't change based off formation. It's always the same. But first turn, McDole defend, Gregminster attack, pawn attack the second mosquito, Ted attack red soldier ant, and Cleo attack red soldier ant. Cleo and Ted, Ted will do 17 damage, Cleo will do 11. That'll be just enough to kill the soldier ant. And then with this RNG, Gregminster and pawn don't miss there. And then turn 2, you have McDole attack, Gregminster attack, and the rest defend. Sadly, you can't free will here because McDole and Gregminster aren't the fastest, so then you get like Ted going before him, Cleo going before him, and it no longer works. Yeah. So I'm just going to point out Cleo's magic here. She jumped to 32. Got our Holy Rune right there. And like I said, this is exactly the same as PSTV. I could literally turn on my PSTV and do this, but I'm not going to do that. If you want to see it on PSTV, watch all my speedruns. It's literally what I do in every run. Okay, please, controller. What the hell is going on? I have a connected Bluetooth right now. Maybe that's why it's so janky. This is without the formation change. I'm just going to point out Cleo's magic at the end of this. How long is... Wow, this video is pretty long. It's longer than I had intended for it to be. But I'm not going to edit this. I'm just going to do it like this. I don't want to edit stuff. So I guess you guys get a dump of info. All the relevant parts are in here. So, same fight, same RNG. I'm sure the RNG writes, or the RNG is the same. Only difference is Cleo here is going to have 31 magic. And Ted's stats are going to be a little bit different too, but we don't really care about Ted's stats besides his attack, because that matters for the 5-bandit fight in Mount Seifu. And that's only in glitchless that we care about that. We don't care about that in glitched. So there we go. That's the setup. That's why we do information swap there, if anyone's wondering. And there you go. Holy Rune setup. Also, one more thing. This screen, also don't do text skip because... Here, I'll show off my health. It's 26 and 10, right? Did I make a save here? 26 and 10. If you do text skip, I'm just gonna mash there. I have no idea what it's gonna be. 8 and 10. As you can see, the poison damage changes because RNG advances while during that screen, and poison damage is actually based off RNG. So if you do text skip here, you're always gonna end up with different health values. It could work fine, but just for consistency, I recommend not doing text skip there. There you go. Holy Rune manip and some of the details around Holy Rune manip. I will have a link to this spreadsheet right here in the description. And happy Holy Rune hunting, guys. Hope you guys do more speedruns now. Enjoy.